and a very warm welcome into Thursday's edition of The Form, where we've plenty to get through across all three codes. Let's have a little look at what's on the agenda. We kick things off with Bevan Sweeney, who talks us through the card at Tauhara Nikau with a best and value bet, as well as a look ahead to the final day of the Hawke's Bay Carnival. Then off to Pit Morris for the Cambridge Greyhounds, 15 races scheduled from the Waikato. We then head south. Andrew Carston joins us to talk through a massive book of runners on Saturday, including key 3-year-old filly Arc de Triomphe. And we wrap things up with a preview of a massive day across the ditch, of course featuring the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. Well, Bevan Sweeney joins me to talk through the programme at Tauhara Nikau. Bevan, a very good morning to you. And we were just talking prior to starting this interview about the weather, and that might play a crucial part when it comes to the meeting.
Well, Emily, look, we've had that spring front come through. It's freezing cold here in Marama today, which is 15 minutes away from the racecourse, and has been raining since sort of 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and has been heavy for a couple of hours. So I think we're going to be running on a very testing track condition. Some of these horses are double accepted across into Hastings, so not 100% sure if they will start on Thursday. But one thing is for sure, I can confirm for you, is that it will be a heavy track condition. Of course, they did have the meeting cancelled last time we were at Tauhara Nikau. I can tell you there has been a lot of remedial work done on the part of the track that was of concern, and we have had stewards over in company with some horses working, and all were very happy with the way that track played after a little bit of rain had fell. So not big fields, Emily, but certainly it still will be a winter track on Thursday.
Well, of course, with the double nominations and also the weather, that's going to really affect what you're going to do with your bets, Bevan. Tell me what you're thinking with regards to a best and a value bet there on the card.
Emily, I've got a couple of very talented young horses, 3-year-olds, that may be heading down to Riccarton. And of course, we've got a great 3-year-old on Saturday at Hastings, which will add some really further interest into what happens down at Riccarton. First and foremost, race number 5, number 9, Fermanagh, for Adrian Bull. This is a Sir Peter Villa 3-year-old who was down in the south last season. Now, it was very, very good in a black type feature on that occasion. So it's fresh up here this afternoon. It's had the trip down, so there's been a bit of pre-planning going on here in the right race. Should be winning for fun as long as it handles the track conditions and does line up. And in race number 3, number 8, Vesperado. This is a horse that's been scratched a couple of times for Gary Vole. It's had the 1 second at its only start. It's looked fantastic at the trials. I think Gary's just trying to find the right race, the right track conditions just to get in down at Riccarton. And he may be forced to run Thursday, but the horse, again, is in on Saturday as well. So they're 2 really nice horses to be watching out of the meeting.
And you've got a value bet for us as well, and which looks like it most definitely will run. This might be, if all else fails, head for the value bet.
Well, we say that, Emily, but I just remember that this selection race, 6, number 2, Billy Easton, was actually scratched at the barriers the other day. So let's hope he goes in. But I thought it was a very good effort, fresh up when hitting the line nicely. He's a horse that promised a lot behind the scenes and didn't have a great start to his campaign. I think there was a few issues going on. Been put aside by Josh. Comes back into a meeting after a good fresh up run. I think it'll improve into it, should handle the track conditions, and maybe one to follow at a little bit more money than Fermanagh and Vesperado. If they do start those 2 horses, then they're more than likely going to be in that $2, $2.20 type of range.
And whilst we've got you, Bevan, we were able to have a little look at, obviously, at the Hawke's Bay fields that have come out. Pretty exciting stuff as we count down to that 3rd Group 1 of the season. What did you make of the Group 1 as a whole? There's obviously interest around Bowden, Prix de Feu, Savillon Blanc, a new addition. Certainly spice things up.
Yeah, I quite like the Group 1. It's got a better feeling to me than maybe day number 2 when Coolside Mad was the very, very short hot pot and looked very difficult to beat on what he'd done on day number 1. We come into this sort of race looking at those horses that you think can get through ground and over ground. I mean, the track's going to be good. This weather's not supposed to head that way up the East Coast, so the track's going to be fine for everyone. I like the chances of Bowden. What he did with the big weight the other day was outstanding, and he was pretty good fresh up as well. He races well at the Bay, so I think he's got to be right in the mix. But I do like a couple. You mentioned one, Savillon Blanc. I thought outstanding, fresh at Hastings. I thought she hit the line. Looks to be coming up beautifully. And I saw a mare work on Tuesday morning at Foxton called Lana Cord. Now, we know she stays. She's getting in with the 55.5 on her back at weight for age a level for her. And she sets up to a distance that should suit her. She ran, I think, the second quickest sectionals home on day number 2. She gets the track conditions to suit. She's getting the trip to suit. So I think she's a real sneaky place bet. I'm not sure if the bookmakers will let you get much. But look, the 2 outside Bowden, I'm really looking forward to. Savion Blanc, I think, has proven itself to be a very good start. And Lana Court, I think the 2 mares are going to be a big player against Bowden at the top of the book. You mentioned Prix de Fer. He goes, look, he's an honest horse, and he really is honest, and he deserves one. And he's probably getting another great opportunity on Saturday. But I am flushed through these undercard races. I mean, I've never seen possibly the strength in some of these races. There are some wonderful events. The 3-year-olds got great interest. What about the Red Badge Sprint? It's an outstanding sprint race for what we've seen through post seasons, and even in our Group 1 sprints across most of the summer. It's an outstanding race. So, look, the Group 1's going to be fun, but I think these undercard betting fields are going to be great plays for punters out there. I think you'll be finding horses like, let's talk She's a Catch, for instance, who was an absolute Monty beaten in the last at Hastings. She's up against Miss Aotearoa, who I'm in love with, so I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. But they're both great mares in the same race, so I can't wait for Saturday. I think the undercard and the Group 1 should be fun, and we get a few people on course as well in the stadium, so that'll add a little bit as well.
Yeah, it certainly will keep things interesting. Bevan, you're going to be there, aren't you? You're going to be on track to bring us all the interviews and stuff. And are you joined by someone else or just you this weekend?
Well, unfortunately, COVID's put a little hitch. Aidan was coming down, but they've just decided that maybe we just play the Kethel game with all our crew in the Waikato. And I think CD and South are coming up to crew the meeting. So we'll leave Aidan at home and we'll see what we can do. Of course, I'm not sure in the middle of the day we're going to have a lot of time. We've got a lot to concentrate on out of Australia as well, Emily. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I look forward to this day every year and combine it with the Aussie content. It should be a whale of a day.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Thanks for your time, Bevan, and looking forward to seeing you on the coverage on Saturday.
Thanks, Emily.
Well, now we switch to the greyhounds here on the form, and we're joined by Pip Morris to talk through the Cambridge meeting. Pip, 15 races scheduled for the Cambridge Greyhounds. That's enough to keep you busy.
It certainly is, Emily. It's great to have a full card and full fields as well. Again, we've got some Central District visitors making up those fields in the Northern trainers as per usual. Looking forward to it, and some really nice dogs going around.
Talk us through your bets. I understand you've got a best and a next best for punters.
Yeah, I certainly do. Look, I've gone for a dog called Jam Packed for the Udi Cottam team in race number 2, box 8. Comes back down to the 375 in a Class 1 final. Stepped to the 457 last start and ran a really good second behind Thrilling Vera. Just think she's got the pace to cross from out wide and win that race, Emily.
And what about the next best? Tell us about that one.
Yeah, I've gone for a dog called Piccolo in race number 8 off the inside alley. She's dropping back from 650 metres, comes into the red rug. There's a nice dog from Karen Walsh out wide, but he's just a baby, still learning the game, and I think she can rip off the lids and beat him. So happy to play her the next best in race number 8.
And where can the punters find a bit of value, Pip, on that card from Cambridge?
I'm sticking with Night Ace. I was quite keen on him last week, Emily. Had box number 8, and unfortunately, our Highview Susie on the red rug just running wide on that first bend. So I'm happy to stick with him. Comes into box number 6. Not an overly strong field. Hoping you'll be a nice value price there.
Great stuff. Love your info, Pip. Awesome to have you on, and good luck for that Cambridge meeting.
Thanks, Emily. Looking forward to it.
Well, up next, Andrew Carsten joins us on the form to talk through what is going to be, Andrew, a very, very busy day on Saturday with plenty of runners. Great to have you with us. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us.
Let's talk through the contenders, obviously, that you've got in on Saturday. And we'll start with a young lady who is certainly attracting a lot of attention when it comes to the Guineas markets in the form of Art de Triomphe. For Go Racing, obviously, a key 3-year-old chance in those Guineas races. Very, very impressive last time. How did she come through that, and how is she progressing?
Obviously a pretty exciting filly to have in the stable, and for Go Racing, who are massive supporters of mine. Both her wins this preparation have been pretty good. Filly's always shown us a little bit, taking a little bit of time just to mature, but she's going really well. She won really good at Riccarton. She's had a pretty quiet week after that, and then 3 weeks from that to today, to Saturday, and progress well. She doesn't take a lot. She's pretty easy, but I'm really happy with it.
Obviously, being by Vademos, I doubt you'd have too many concerns about stepping up to the 1400 metres.
No, she's a filly that just relaxes in her runs and has a turn of foot. So no, not concerned. Her mother is she won a Winter Cup at Riccarton at the mile too. So no, pretty relaxed.
And you have to take on the boys this time, and in particular, I notice in that field is I Wish I Win, and that'll give you a really good line as to where you're at. Is that your sort of thinking for Saturday?
100%. She takes on the boys this week, and it's I Wish I Win's a Group 1 performer. So we'll get a line on her. There's a couple of others in the race that have done well. I think from the South Island, Fireglow's beaten her twice. Tony Pike's fillies were pretty impressive at Riccarton last week. So definitely another step up, but she's going the right way, and I'm more than happy with my filly.
Tell me about the plan post this race on Saturday. What do you do with her to get to the Guineas? I noticed she's nominated for both 2,000 and 1,000 Guineas. What's the sort of rough plan in your head, and when will you make some key decisions?
Well, obviously we'll get through this Saturday first. Will be the number one plan. She is still in the 2,000 Guineas, and that is still an option. Obviously, the 1,000 Guineas is our main target, but we'll just let the dust settle after Saturday and to make some calls from there.
Let's move on to the open handicap over the 1,200 metres. Pull your socks up, takes a spot in this one. Got the bottom weight of 54 kilos, and I guess you could probably forgive last start, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, she came down in pretty good order from Steve McKee, and she was first up at Riccarton on what was an extremely fast track. And I also find that the chute can trip them up first up. So I'll forgive her for the first up run. She's taken improvement from it. I think it's a really strong field on Saturday. So she's probably another run away, but we're planning to get her to the Group 3 race on the middle day for the mares at 1,400 metres, and she'll peak on that day. So I'll be watching this week, looking forward to Cup Week.
And then if we move on to the rating 74 over the 1,400 metres, you've got the 5 contenders in this one. We'll go through them all. Milford Sound, another who we could just probably forgive last time. Very unlucky. How has he come through that?
Yeah, look, really happy with Milford Sound. I think he's taken improvement from the run. I think it was a put a line through run. We didn't learn a lot about him. He got flattened on the first corner and was wide throughout. So I'll forgive him for that run. We've dropped him back to a 74 race. I think he's improved with his first up run, and look, he's a horse that's done a really good job so far. Does step up to he's back in playing with the big boys now, so he needs to step up on Saturday. But I can't be any happier with him going forward.
Caitlin J has that last start form over the 1,200 metres. You step up to 1,400 metres, and I guess that last start today will only really be second up with the races well spaced and a little bit of a freshen up.
Yep, she went home for a week to owner's place just with this race in mind, actually. I think she races well at Ashburton. The step up with the 14 is not a concern. She does relax in her races. Done well since as well. So it's a strong race, but she's in with a chance.
And then you've got He's Our Secret dropping back in distance after that place last time. What was the thought process behind that?
It's a $30,000 race down the road. And again, another horse that races well at Ashburton. Hilliker's run last week was really good at Riccarton. His form is actually better at 14 than it is at a mile. So not that I was just surprised that he ran well, because he had been going better races than it looked on paper. But look, he's a chance as well.
And then Hunter Villain, I just thought better than the form probably reads on the page. Would that be your opinion too, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. He is absolutely flying this horse. He's put in some really good runs from bad gates. It looks like he'll probably come up on the ballot this week. So we'll just have to see if he gets a run. But he is going really well. He's not far off putting his foot in the till.
Another right down the bottom there is Island Hop. Had the 2 trials to prepare for this fresh up assignment. Have you been happy with them?
Yeah, I've only had him for the 1 trial. I took over the horse from Kevin Hughes only a couple of weeks ago. Kevin and Pam retired and passed the horse to me. A nice horse, I like him. He looked like a really a progressive type last year and just might have lost his way a little bit. His trial was really good on the synthetic only last week, so he looks like he'll miss out on a run there too, but he's a horse to follow.
In the rating 65 over the 1400 metres, also worth the $30,000, Detty Foss, a winner prior to finding the really heavy conditions. Would that be just what tripped the horse up?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. It was extremely heavy on Grand National at Riccarton. We give him 3 or 4 weeks off after that race just to let him get over that. Happy with how he's come back. I think he's a above average horse, and with the rain around, it won't affect his chances at all.
You got Shock Prospect also in that race, who you find in a third up state in this one. What was Sam's feedback post race last time?
Sam got a little bit excited and took off before she probably should have. They just got past the last bit. She's a mare that does take 2 or 3 runs to come to it. She'll be, she'll run a good race again on Saturday, looking towards Cup Week. But she's gone 2 pretty good races so far.
You've got the Garrison, who I thought made up some nice ground at its latest outing. That must be encouraging.
Yeah, really encouraging. A horse that's always probably shown a lot more at home than he has at the track, in all fairness to us. But look, the rail was out a long way. He got a long way back out of his ground, and he did hit the line nicely. So, he's raced well at Ashburton before too. So, he's definitely a good each way chance.
Namibia Miss in that same race too. I guess things probably didn't go quite the way you wanted last time.
No, disaster. She got back and got in all sorts of trouble. I did like the way she ran through the line. Has definitely come through that run really well. So she draws a gate, and she can be ridden a little bit closer. Definitely a chance. She looks like she'll run the Constellation race, and it'll be a good race for her.
And you've got Russian Fable as well. Freshened before that last run at the 1400 metres. You feel this horse is an improver?
Yeah, she's an improver. Another mare I took off Kevin and Pam Hughes, so this will be her first run for me. Last start had no luck at all at Riccarton, so she's had a pretty quiet time since. So I'm looking for improvement anyway.
And Varden Road, finally, the last one, and that one brings that nice placing from an outing last time. You're only beaten a small margin that day.
Yeah, another mare that's on the way up. Kylie, I'll be honest, she come in and admitted that she'd gone too early as well. Hit the front a long way from home at Riccarton, and it's not an ideal thing to do. But look, she wasn't beaten far. It was really good to get her back in form because, again, she's a mare that I've always liked and probably let me down a little bit on race day.
Just the 2 more to chat about. Both of them in maiden company. We'll start with the maiden 1600. Alasira, placed in maiden grade prior to that finish down the field. Can the 1600 make the difference on Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully. He was pretty average at Riccarton last start. He did everything wrong, hung and pulled and carried on, and didn't really have a lot of luck in the straight either. But I wouldn't use that as an excuse. He was disappointing. His work since has been really good. I've changed a little bit of gear. And look, he is looking for firm ground, so we'll just see what the weather does with him.
And then finally in the maiden 1200, Ifrageable. We haven't seen this mare since May. How's she travelling along in her preparation?
Yeah, nice mare. Did a good job last prep without winning a race, I thought. Taken a long time to strengthen up. I thought she trialled really good probably 3 weeks ago now, might be 4, with waiting for this race in mind. Happy with her. She won't be a maiden for long.
And now we're going to put you on the spot, Andrew. What do you think is your best winning chance on Saturday?
My best winning chance on Saturday will be Milford Sound.
Milford Sound, alrighty, noted down. Is there one at maybe a bit more value that we could follow heading forward?
Yeah, there's a maiden. I've got a maiden by Pure Champion, actually, called Megalomaniac. He raced fresh up the other day and ran second. And look, he's knocking on the door as well.
And just whilst we've got you on the phone, the other thing I wanted to have a chat about was the synthetic track. Of course, that's been a new introduction to the track there at Riccarton for you to be able to trial on and train on and obviously eventually race on. Tell me a little bit about that. How is it? What's the feedback been like since it's been introduced? How are you finding using it and trialing on it?
Yeah, we've had it in use probably since Grand National meeting, and look, it's going to be a massive asset to the Riccarton training facilities for sure. I think we could have near on the best training facilities in the country with that in action. It's taken a little while, I'll be honest. I've been a little bit, just we're all finding our way with the track, and I think it's going really well. The feedback's been good. The trial meeting the other day went off without any hiccups, and really looking forward to using that going forward.
Awesome stuff. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck, obviously, with Art de Triomphe and all of the other runners, and hopefully we can get the punters home with your tip for the day.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
A mouth-watering day of racing from across the ditch, including the Everest and also the Caulfield Cup. Here's a little overview of what's to come from Australia.
400 to go. Incentivise kicks on the inside under the whip and Sir Dragonet together. Very Elegant joining in, and Young Berta is almost making a line of 4. Incentivise kicks at the 250 from Young Berta. Very Elegant has to find. Chapada runs on. Incentivise finds though at the 100 metres. 3/4 Young Berta. Incentivise getting tired. Young Berta coming at it, but Incentivise is finding, and Incentivise has won. A new Group 1 star has won it from Young Berta.
Strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. She said, do you from a
No compromise, balancing up again with Great House. She's Ideal's the deepest. It's on Todd and Montefilia. Montefilia put the head in front from Untot. Montefilia from Untot. Montefilia and Todd. Both of their heads going down to the wire, and it's desperately close in the Metropolitan.
I'm back from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscle.
Nonconformist presenting, and they were followed by Delphi. No effort at the 200. Nonconformist chasing. Charlie Rose back to the inside, and Delphi running on at the 100. Nonconformist leading. Delphi driving. Nonconformist and neck Delphi. Nonconformist. Hold on. Nonconformist beat Delphi. Photo third. Charlie Rose or Mirage Dancer. Delphi at the 200 metres, led by 2 lengths Mirage Dancer. The Chosen One, Hustler War. Delphi Oliver takes a peek over the shoulder at the 100. He still leads by a length and 3/4, and Delphi's going to do it. Delphi wins by a length. The Chosen One, Hustler War, and Defibrillate through for 4. With the Chosen One, and here's Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke below the 200. The Chosen One grabbed by Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke. Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke. It's all class. Very Elegant and in front, and the mare won it. Very Elegant beat Anthony Van Dyke, the Chosen One.
And Ocean Billy, the leader, got away by 2 lengths. Sound looks to hunt him down. Then Roger that further back. Charles Road, Vito Rosso, Platinum Invader. It's Ocean Billy at the 200. Can he hold on? He's 3 lengths clear from Sound. Platinum Invader and battling on Charles Road. Ocean Billy. Ocean Billy's in charge in the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup, and it goes to Hilton and Phil Pomani. Ocean Billy won it. Nature's Drift's been in his slipstream, giving J2 up to Aubrey on her. Classic Legend 4 up. The grey flash is starting to cut loose. Here he comes. Classic Legend storms to the front and kicked away. The grey flash is now an Everest Legend. Bivouac home to second. Photo for third.
Classique Legend up to third, and then followed on Trivier. Next is Wheelhouse, Eliza Veal, and then followed Kerwin's Lane. Marzu the leader, 175 to go from Forbidden Love. McAvoy starts to shake up the grey now. Classique Legend moved up, struck the front on Trivier late. Classique Legend maybe a short half head to on Trivier. They've hit the line together.
And they're broken clear from the rest, but Nature Strip moved up, put paid to Eduardo at this point, and Nature Strip draws a length and a half, 2 lengths clear from Eduardo, a gap back to Masked Crusader, but Nature Strip goes back to back in the TJ, and this is an annihilation. Masked Crusader got up to run second in front of Eduardo, Zatori third. Further back to embrace her. I am Superman to the outside. Now Masked Crusader's being ridden up, but there's nowhere to go on Masked Crusader. He has to duck and weave. I think he's found a gap now. Standout went to the front. Masked Crusader's charging through the centre. Masked Crusader from last. A miraculous get out of jail. It's Nature Strip and neck on Eduardo. Rothfire's battling. Guitra is looking to come through the middle. Nature Strip's kicking from Eduardo. Nature Strip just in front. Eduardo's lifting the outside. Eduardo lays it down to Nature Strip and Eduardo won it.
Classique Legend at his best. It's the best horse I've ever had. Physically, he's naturally a year older and he's stronger, but from the point of view of preparation for the Everest, the last year hasn't been ideal for him. So to win the race, he's going to have to put up a Herculean performance, in my opinion. Well, I don't know, it was bizarre last year. I just simply never had a horse going that good, ever. This year the horse is going good. Can I honestly say, look you in the eye and say he's as good as he was last year? He's not far off it, but I won't know till after the race. And Peter Abel, apart from being a top flight jockey, is a beautiful track work rider, excellent judge, and if it hadn't have been for him through this period, I'd have been struggling. He's been a lifesaver. The way the carnival is now, the emphasis is probably more on Sydney than Melbourne, so it's made a tremendous difference. He's got no instructions, he knows how to ride him. He wants a fast pace, put him to sleep, and just come at him the last 300.
Well, with our interviews behind us, it's now time to get into our best bets. Just a couple of things to make you aware of before we head there. Don't forget about the $20,000 guaranteed late potty at Tauhara Nikau Gallops. Not only that, but also $5,000 guaranteed first fours on every race from Addington. Certainly something to enjoy. For now, though, let's have a little look at those best bets. Well, that's it from us here on The Form. Aidan Rodley will be with you tomorrow where the previews continue, including Te Aroha Gallops on Friday afternoon, as well as a little look ahead to Saturday with the Everest Caulfield Cup and also the Livermore Classic. All of that to come right here on The Form.